Hello there. How are we doing? Today, I would like us to talk business with its challenges. And I want us to start with the challenges that are facing the new businesses today. Why is it that we start businesses in Uganda when we are many, but by year three, research tells us that 80% of the businesses have collapsed or people have quit? Why? Let's look at some of the challenges that other mistakes that we make that might contribute to the fall of some of our businesses in Uganda today. And like I've said today, we are talking new businesses. Then next time, we will look at the mistakes that we make or the challenges that face the existing businesses. So one of the mistakes that we make as business people or entrepreneurs is wrong pricing. I start my business of selling chakala, and the first thing I think of is looking at how much the neighbor is selling products, which is a good thing because if you also don't benchmark from your neighbors, you will end up competing with yourself. However, there are many factors that one has to consider before they price their products. And we have a different types of pricing. So basing on what method that you're going to use, you should have a reason for using it, not because the neighbor has used it. For example, we have the market-based pricing, where you actually price basing on the market, and that you have to be aware that for you, what you're going to sell, you're going to base on the market to price your products. We have the cost-based pricing, where you count the costs that you have put in and then add your target profit and price your products. And then also we have the value-based pricing, where you actually look at the value of the product, and mostly now these are high-end. You price your products basing on the value in those products, and you find that high value products will be put at a high price, not because the neighbor is selling it at this. So if you're going to compete with your neighbor on the pricing, sometimes you will end up pricing wrongly and making losses, thinking that you're competing with others in the market. Then the second mistake that we make, or the second challenge, is starting dedicated businesses when we are not present. Now, this I can say it with experience. The time when I did mobile money with my husband, we were not there. We did our mobile money, and in a year's time, we had lost all our money just because we're not there. So if you have a delicate business that you're going to start, you better be aware that your business involves a lot of cash, so it might be impossible or next to impossible for you not to be present in your business. But now if you start a business that has no cash, you're just selling products which you can just price and then come and do a look at the books later, then now that's easy for you. So basing on the type of business that you're starting, look at if it needs to be present there and be there, or if it can do without you and it still succeeds. Then another mistake that we make is improper planning. And now this has in something to do with budgeting at the beginning of a business. If I have 10 million and I'm going to do a chakala business, let's say, like we did, me and my husband, and we've done many businesses. So we are going to start a chakala business maybe, and we have a 10 million capital. And then we first concentrate on buying tables, putting shelves, which are key to the business. However, they are not stock. Putting drawers, quality drawers, putting TV in the shop, putting cameras, and then before you know it, before you even buy stock, you find that you have 2 million left and you're going to do business. The things that are not for selling have taken up 8 million and you only have 2 million for stock. Now that's also another mistake because you will end up selling little You have paid a lot of rent, but you don't have stock in. That's also another mistake that entrepreneurs make, and it might cause to failure. Let's stay together so that we look at the mistakes or challenges that face existing businesses. Have a nice time.